So today we are talking to the one and only Samantha Mumba, and body to body, I gotta tell you that I'm very excited about this one. I promise there'll be no more of them. I do promise. But listen, this woman, what a renaissance she is having. She is on the festival circuit. The millennials love her. She's acting, she's writing, she's still performing. Like, the woman is the whole package. And genuinely, when you think about it, back in the day, she was Ireland's answer to Britney Spears. Even Steven Spielberg wanted in on the action. And she has also never been afraid to speak her mind, which we clearly saw after last year's Eurovision. She's living in LA now with her gorgeous family, but she's always back in Dublin. Her heart kind of belongs to Dublin, and she took a break from filming recently. She came into studio and took me down the most gorgeous memory lane. So hope you enjoy. Samantha Mumba.
Kathryn Thomas.
We are back together again.
Back together again.
Twice in the 1 year.
In 1 year. And this set, I'm sorry, I'm like just very blown away. This is fabulous.
Very bougie. We love it.
Fabulous. I love it.
And it gives me an excuse to wear all of the most insanely bright colours.
So here for all of us. I actually feel, I feel very muted and dull.
No!
This is everything. Anyway,
just look
I love
incredible.
it.
So great to see you.
A shit ton of makeup on my face. Oh, if you'd seen me this morning, like, this is a makeup artist.
So tell me, what sort of day have you had? You've been running from Billy to Jack.
Doing a little bit of everything and anything. Promoting all the things Christmas with Dundrum, which has been gorgeous.
And does that happen, like, as soon as you come back in from LA and you land in Dublin, that it is just like literally bang, 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 bang?
It kind of is one of those things. Or like, I've noticed, for some reason, I think because people know I live in the States, they kind of just think I'm unavailable or gone. And whereas for me, it's playing right away. Like, for me, I don't even know how many planes I've been on at this point. But also, I feel like when people find out that I'm home, then a lot of work tends to come in.
Yes.
And I'm like, if you could just let me know in advance, then I can just schedule a trip.
Yeah.
And do everything at once.
Do everything. But it's like we are seeing a lot more of you, which is what I love.
Been a lot this year.
But it's so great because I feel that you are having this incredible renaissance. It's like the festivals, it's the acting, it's Eurovision, it's talk
all
shows.
Of the things.
Like, and does it feel like that for you?
It does. Funnily enough, this was a busier year than I maybe anticipated it would end up being, to be honest. I didn't think I'd be back I've been home so many times this year, but it's great. I kind of feel like I'm at an age as well where you kind of do things that you resonate with, do things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy then when I'm very content in doing these things. So it's been lovely. It could be nothing then next year, But
it's so lovely because friends of mine were down at Beyond the Pale. Saw you doing an amazing set. Yeah. And there is this real love for you. And when I had you on the radio, I mean, and I read that article for you, and it's like this sort of, not a comeback, but it's like, it's your next chapter. And that's why this podcast is called Are We There Yet? You know what I mean?
It's very aligned, right?
Yeah.
And do you know what? It's so lovely. I think there's a part of, maybe because I was so young coming into it and we've all kind of grown up together, I feel like there's just a nostalgia or I feel like even back then when I released music, it was like feel good times and everybody was happy. And I don't know, it was just simpler times. And I think people, when they see me, it gives them that feeling. It's nothing actually to do with me. I think it's transporting them back to a feel-good time. I think.
I 100% agree. But then I also, when you think of what's happening with Irish artists at the moment, like globally, like look at Fontaine's DC, look at CMAT.
Oh my God.
Even like Paul Mescal, like the Irish thing is kind of, we're having a moment.
We're kind of cool.
We are kind of cool.
Very cool.
But back in the day when you were having your moment, were you being like, was it the Irish girl is cool? Was it the black R&B girl?
I think it was all of that. I think again, it was just the timing of Britney had just come out, Christina Aguilera had just come out, and then it was like, oh, there's a black pop singer, and it was like, and she's Irish. It was just, I think I was just, and still am, a bit of an anomaly to some people. I don't know that people ever quite know maybe what box to put me in or what to make of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it can be a bit of a tricky one. Again, I think just so much luck and timing. Things just, I did well.
But you are a grafter.
listen, I'm a grafter, I'm a chancer.
Yeah.
And listen, I'll wing anything. Do you know what I mean? I'll have a shot.
But you were so young back in the day,
Yeah.
like 16. And I remember hearing the story of you. Like we know you were Billy Barry and
Yeah.
your time on the Late Late
Yeah.
Show and doing all of that.
Yeah.
And in a way, like I was the kid living in Carlow who wanted to go to Billy Barry, but my mother was like, I'm not driving.
There's not a hope.
There's not a hope. You can go to Mary Doyle down the road and that'll be good enough for you.
And
Do
that
your
was
play
it.
here in the city.
Yeah.
But Billy Barry was the making of so many stars. Was Brian McFadden was in? Was Brian in there as well?
Oh my God, who else?
Susan McFadden was in.
Susan, absolutely. Like some of the Boys Own lads. Like it's just, she was an institution and just an incredible woman, really. And like my happiest childhood memories are all rotate back to Billy Barry.
What was she like? Like what sort of woman was she?
Such a lady, I would say. And she had such an air about her. And she'd walk in and she was the only one with the gold tap shoes. And you were just like, like in awe. And she was fabulous and very glamorous and just, you just wanted her to be, you never wanted to be in trouble, or like we were all so well behaved. Like we'd never dare be bold or anything like that, you know.
She kind of put the fear of God into you,
Absolutely,
but in a good way.
in the most beautiful way.
Okay.
Yeah, she was fabulous. And her daughter Lorraine has done an incredible job of continuing with the school. And when I was a kid, Lorraine would have been kind of the young, cool teacher then as well, you know.
Yeah.
So the two of them, yeah, it's just some of my happiest memories.
What
it really
do you think
is.
of her retiring from Dancing with the Stars?
So different Lorraine Barry.
Oh, different
Lorraine Barry.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was like, what do you mean Lorraine Barry? There's only one Lorraine Barry. I know the Billy Barry Lorraine Barry. So Lorraine Barry is different.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So tell me then, how did you go from the land of Billy Barry and all that came with it to one night at 16 years of age, I think it was, standing at the door of Lily's with your mother, waiting to go in and meet a Sony music executive?
Again, chancer, like absolute chancer. And so randomly, I'll try and cut this short because it's long-ish. I'd done a few theatre shows. I'd done panto. I was doing a few little things. I think I'd gotten a few little news articles or something. A lovely guy named Ola McGowan.
You know Ola.
Ola.
In RTE.
In RTE.
Yeah.
So
What
at
a
the time, legend. And at the time he worked for, oh my God, what was the record company? It wasn't Universal. Was it EMI? Is it EMI? I don't know. Or Sony. Maybe it was Sony.
Okay.
He worked for another record company. And he had seen me in the shows and reached out to me and my mum. We'd taken a meeting, nothing had happened with it. And then months had passed and then he reached out and was like, listen, I'm having dinner with these two songwriters. They were huge at the time. They'd just written songs for all the Spice Girls. He was like, we're finishing up dinner. He was like, do you and Samantha want to come meet us for a drink? I think it'd be great for her to meet them.
Like you're in your sitting room.
Literally like at home. I was like, oh my God, like probably in my pajamas, like legging it to get out the door. So went. And we got on great. They were out and they were like, let's go to Lily's, to the library.
You 16?
Barely 16, yeah. And so we just rocked up and they just said, yeah, she's an R&B singer from the States. And the doorman thankfully didn't question it. And we went into Lily's and Louis was in there.
Mother, even more.
Oh, listen. Absolutely. Yes. And we had a great night. And Louis was in the library and he had seen a few of those random articles. And I think honestly, even aside from that, I think he was probably just blown away. Like, how is she sat with the biggest songwriters out right now? Like this young one that I've seen maybe one little article on. I think he was just intrigued by that.
Yeah.
And
she has balls. She's here.
And I did have balls. I was a cheeky little thing.
Yeah.
And so he spoke with my mum for most of the night and it kind of just all went from there.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you were then under the mentorship of Louis.
Yes.
And then
actually got my publishing deal first.
Yeah.
Which was great.
You were kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it wasn't the most common thing. It wasn't the most heard of thing at the time. And then.
So does this mean that you you have control over the writing end of things?
Well, I'm a songwriter. So yeah, so I get to be involved, obviously. Well, yeah. So I co-wrote a lot of my singles, a lot of album tracks.
But it would be more unusual, would it, to get a publishing deal before a record deal? Or
yeah, it was unusual. Again, alignment. I so believe in all of this, right? Right place, right time. Everything happened exactly as it was supposed to happen because that really wasn't the norm. And for whatever reason, that's what transpired to be. And then got my record deal and then it was kind of just...
Like the snowball.
Leaving school and off I go, yeah.
Like leaving school, going over to Sweden.
Yeah.
writing songs over there for months and months on end on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I just like the balls of that, and what it also shows is a different time.
Yeah.
Like your mom was able to say, did you drop out of school to go?
I did. So I had just gone into fifth year and all of this was happening. And it was, funnily enough, when I was in school, I just had no idea of what I was going to do other than music and singing.
Yeah.
And I say this now, I genuinely feel like I was manifesting that life before I knew what actually manifesting was, because I had such a belief in my head, notions and even I found old diaries when I was a kid and I was practicing my autograph and
I did that as well.
What the hell? Unhinged.
Fully
Unhinged.
Going to be famous.
So again, manifesting these things. And so I think, my mum and dad would have known that was my passion. I didn't have a backup plan. I wasn't excited. I didn't particularly love being in school.
Yeah.
And so thankfully they would have never had me pass up that opportunity. And especially then, that was like winning the lotto, a record deal. That's just not something that comes around every day. And now you don't even need a record deal. But then it was, you aren't legit if you don't have that, you know? Yeah.
And was
crazy.
that where you wrote the song? When you
that would have been in Sweden, yeah. Yeah.
So that song went, you've got to tell me, got to tell you, that song went to number 1 in Ireland.
Yeah.
Number 4 in the UK.
2 in the UK, I think. I was just beaten by Eminem. And number 4 then in the States, I think, yeah.
Now, sorry, you were what at this time? 17?
17.
Fucking hell.
But do you know what the weird thing is? There was no social media. I barely had a phone. I was in such a bubble and a work bubble. I was so kind of oblivious to a lot of what was happening. And even I was clearing stuff out of my mum's and I found even old itineraries and schedules. And I'm like, oh my God, 12 countries in a week. And I was just going, the schedule was
mental. And now, there's people with artists there, you've got your publishers, you've got your agents, you've got your managers, you've got your protectors. Was that the case at the time? Or was it just you and your mom traveling? Or
no, well, so at the time, my brother would have still been quite young and he was still in school. So my mom couldn't actually travel everywhere with me. So the first trip I did to Sweden or the first trip I did to Norway, she would come on that trip. And rightly so, to make sure everything was safe, that I wasn't around weird people and everything was okay. And then the follow-up trips, then I would travel myself and I knew them at that point and work and write and come back and forth. But yeah, I was living in London. I was in my own apartment at 17, kind of nuts with hindsight. Yeah, but I was very lucky. It would usually just be me and a tour manager once I started working, or if I was performing, dancers. And then at one point, I was so lucky. Now, this was a little bit later on. What age would I have been? Oh, I don't know. Maybe 9. I don't know, actually. But a little bit older. And my aunt became my tour manager.
Okay.
And so that was priceless because she's like a big sister to me anyway. But to have family on the road with me all the time and have somebody that unequivocally has my back and has my best interest at heart,
and did you feel at some point that people didn't have your best interest?
You just never know. Obviously as well, there'd be the record label pushing certain things and she'd be like, well, no, because she hasn't had even a day in 2 months, 3 months, so she would always kind of protect me in that regard. Or I think just even how it really was a grueling schedule, and just having family with you just made it so much nicer.
Because Britney was coming on the scene at that, very much on the scene.
Very much on the scene.
And were they modelling you in the sort of the Britney-esque?
For sure. And again, I think at that age, and that time, it was all the girls, you were put into a category and that just was what it was. You know? Yeah.
And look at what happened. God love her. And
breaks my heart. It's just awful.
Did you and her ever cross over at any point?
Several times. Okay. She's amazing. And I think when she was still with Justin, and I was opening up for NSYNC. So I was on tour with them for a couple of months in the States. And so she was obviously working.
You say that, you go, yes, you were, and you forget.
I know. Listen, it's like a lifetime ago. But so she would have been on the tour a good bit, obviously seeing her boyfriend and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was talk at one point. I remember even seeing an interview that she'd done. And she's like, oh, I want to duet with Samantha Mumba. And I was like, my God. Now, why the label didn't jump on that, I don't know. But she is and was a lovely girl. And I think this is a tough industry. And Yeah, I don't. I think it's kind of disgraceful what it did to her, and
and did to so many. Like, even just a couple of days ago, Lola Young posting.
Oh my gosh, and I adore her. I just saw that video where she collapsed on stage. Awful.
You see Lewis Capaldi having to take a step back, and the pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to any of the Westlife lads, you talk to any of the Boys Own guys, like the schedules
were intense. I could not believe, literally when I went
and
through.
it was all profit driven. It felt like, when you watch the documentaries, and listen, I love Louis,
Same, yeah.
But he is in it for the business. He is in it,
absolutely.
And in a way, that's what I respect about him.
Me too.
To be honest,
he's a businessman, and
100%.
that is what it is,
But on the flip side of that, you got to protect your artists, and I think there's more of that now. Like, you seem to have come through unscathed. Is it very easy for people to say that, and for you to say that now? Did you have very tough times, dark times?
Yes and no. So, I think, again, ultimately going back to, it is a business. We are products of that business, and that is all we are. We are a product, and that is it. Now, I think I probably made the mistake because I was so young, and I loved everybody in the label, and I thought they were my friends and my extended family, and did it, so I probably was at that age not fully aware of the fact that I was a product and that I was a business, and that maybe my best interests weren't the priority, But again, it is what it is. I certainly have no regrets. I'm very headstrong. Have always been able to look after myself. And I don't take crap from anybody. So I feel like I already was giving off that. I don't think I was like the type of girl that would be manipulated or used, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I've always been able to take care of myself.
And I very much resonate with that.
Yeah.
I think when I was 21 and I put a bag on my back and started traveling around the world with No Frontiers, the greatest job ever. But very quickly, if there's just a 2-woman crew, you get into scenarios and situations in Africa or whatever.
Absolutely.
That you have to literally, you have to be bigger and stronger and more vocal and more confident than maybe you feel. But interestingly, a couple of years ago, my sister moved, it was a long time ago now, she moved to LA.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was living, when she first moved over to LA, so I would have been, this was maybe 8-9 years ago, and she was living in just beside, what's the big park? Runyon Canyon.
Oh my God, yeah.
She was living beside Runyon Canyon, and she had an apartment there, and I was single at the time, and I said, right, I'll go over for a month. I'll maybe try and meet some people, whatever. She also needed me to build her flat pack furniture because
God, that's me. I'm Bob the Builder in my house, literally.
I am so good.
I do it all, and I love it. I love it.
I fucking love flat pack, but I have to be doing it on my own.
Totally on my own, and don't be bothering me. I don't want to help. Yes, leave me alone. I put my little playlist on, and I'm happy out.
Oh.
And listen, I used to be the manual screwdriver. I only recently got a drill.
Oh. Game changer.
I am putting things everywhere.
And are you the builder that has parts left over, or do all of your bits get used up?
No, unless they send spares.
Yeah.
You know the way they always send the spares with the flat pack?
Yeah, no, I use every last one of mine, and then my husband builds, right? And there's fucking loads of bits left over, and I actually didn't do it right.
Oh no, then you fucked up. Sorry, am I allowed to curse? Sorry. Can you do a beep? Whatever. No, I paint everything in our house. I'm a devil for peel and stick.
Yeah.
I'll get an idea into my head, and then I love a little reveal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, so I was over with my sister building her flat pack furniture for her new apartment, and then I was like, "Come on, I'm in LA. Let's go down." And we went to the Chateau Marmont, right? And we're sitting there, and I'm like, "Let's get a bottle of champagne."
Fabulous.
Get a bottle of champagne, and the next thing, this bottle of champagne comes over to the table. And these two old fellas are sitting there. I shouldn't say old fellas, but they were old fellas.
Yeah.
And I kind of recognised one. And anyway, then they asked, could they join our table, right?
Okay.
And we're chatting away, and he goes, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm in television at home." And he worked for one of the big production, big stations. I'm not going to say who it was.
Okay.
And he was like, "Do you recognise this guy? This is Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees." Right? So as in from the actual Monkees. And I was like, "Oh my God, Now I fucking remember. Hey, we're the monkeys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. So I'm sitting there with Mickey Dolans and this guy. Anyway, we're chatting away. And he goes, I'm going to introduce you to some people. He was like, you're going to have to move over, get a visa.
Right.
And I was like, right. I was like, this
Say
is
less.
night one. I had just been using my flat pack furniture.
Amazing.
And now I'm going to like, all of a sudden I'm on the cusp of like.
Kind of incredible though.
Anyway,
God, is this going to go left?
So anyway, about 3 days later, he said, I've just finished a meeting in, what is the beautiful Japanese restaurant up in the hills? With
Yamashiro?
Yamashiro. Yeah. He said, come on up. Right.
Yeah.
So I went up and there he was, the table for two, the fucking candle lighting.
Jesus.
And he didn't want to talk about anything.
Oh no.
But my eyes went to, like, and he, in his 60s, went to lob the gob. And I'm like, yeah. And I just went, I was just like, fuck, thank you very much, but no thanks. And I just got into a taxi and I went, is this what it takes?
It's very disheartening. So I've definitely had a lot of that.
Yeah.
But like.
So throughout your career, have you had to manage that?
Definitely have had that. Definitely had, yeah, listen, and again,
so how do
there's
you
so
manage
many creeps.
That? Yeah, so many creeps.
I'm just well able. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
No, like there's nothing I want enough to where I'm going to put myself in a predicament that I amn't comfortable in. Like immediately no. And immediate red flag. I remember it's similar to yours. A manager, an American manager, music manager, managed huge female artists. And like reaching out, want to manage you, and again, as soon as you then have the conversation, it just gets creepy out of nowhere. And it's like, it's disheartening.
And I just wonder, is it across so many, it's very prevalent in the media.
For sure.
What is it about women in the public eye that have to kind of endure, put up with it?
Yeah.
And also why there are so many stories over the decades as to why some women fall foul of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Completely.
And it is that predator vibe that you get, you know, and there's so many stories in the music industry about it, but
so many.
But you were able to handle yourself. And
listen, again, like you're saying, so many of those experiences, but I'm just well able to handle myself.
Yeah. Where does that come from? Because I think I've always been like that.
So I've always been like that as well. That would be my dad.
Okay.
So he would have been quite energy and a presence, and was always very much so able to take care of himself. And so I would have grown up seeing that and seeing how he moved and seeing how he would have been quite intimidating to men. I think just his energy and just certain things that he instilled in me that absolutely have protected me as a young woman and as a woman even today, and definitely have stayed with me, you know.
And he was from Zambia.
Yeah.
Because he died fairly recently in 2020.
He did in 2020, yeah.
Just at the start of
COVID. The start of all of that, yeah.
He was quite young, Samantha.
He was. And, you know, listen, it's just one of those things. It's so much, I suppose the older you get, right? And then especially when somebody passes, it's like, God, I wish I could ask him this or that. Or it's that you realise things that were instilled in you that at the time you didn't even realise were lessons and, you know, seeds being sown into you. And listen, I'm a spiritual person. I have a beautiful connection with him now that he's passed over as well. And so I'm so grateful for that.
And when you say, what do you mean by that? Do you feel his presence around you?
Absolutely. I mean, so I would have always been quite, I would have had kind of a lot of experiences, kind of maybe spiritual experiences, like as a kid, seeing things and energies and all that kind of stuff. And kind of that would have freaked me out not as a little kid, it didn't, but as I got older then, I was like, oh no, that's creepy. Like, didn't want any part of it.
So you would have actually seen like what we would call spirits or ghosts or... Okay.
Yeah. And
since
felt a lot
kid.
Since I was a little girl. Yeah. Specifically, I used to have two men in the garden when I was a little girl that would come up out of the ground, and like I could describe them as if they were here today. And now that didn't bother me as a kid, but as I got older, then I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy. So, you know, you shut off certain things, or like, you know, and you have to be open to things. And I think, honestly, my dad, now he was very much so, he was such a very unique man, but was always a protector first and foremost. So if anything was happening, even if we weren't talking, if I picked up the phone, he would be there at a creepy speed where you'd be like, how did you even get here that quick? He was a protector. And so when he passed, I just immediately felt, I was like, but wait, where actually is he? I was like, no, I need to connect with him. Like, I have to know where he's gone. And And that was kind of the catalyst for me to open up that door and be comfortable exploring that again, because I felt like now he's on the other side. So I still felt spiritually protected because he was kind of there now. So so that's honestly what kind of started it for me and made me feel comfortable exploring it.
And when you say explore, do you go to...
Just exploring. I feel like, listen, we're all souls having this human experience in these little avatars, right? And I feel like if you're open to it, I don't think anybody has gifts that are better than anybody else. I think you're open to it or you're not, and that's fine. So just open to everything, if I'm being completely honest.
No, I get it, because it was the one thing that I would never have said that I was a religious person,
right,
or particularly spiritual. My father is and always has been like my biggest idol, and the person who I love most in the world. And not so much from as a protector, like your dad, but my dad is like, nothing phases my dad. Nothing. So when shit goes down, like he's lost his business twice, when things are going great, like my dad is just...
And he's the calm.
He's like, nothing ever bothers him.
That's incredible.
And he's just like, we are here to have a great time.
That's incredible.
We are here for a short time.
Yes.
And
he's dead right. He's so right.
My mother, on the other hand, complete basket case. No, but she's the teacher and she's the educator and she's the protect, and she was the one who would have always said, get out there, don't let anyone speak to you like that. Make your own way.
Absolutely.
She was kind of the hard notch,
Yeah.
But so when I went off traveling around the world, when I think about it now, like 20 years of age, and I mean, it's why I suppose I can relate to you being in Sweden at 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Like we would just disappear off for 5 weeks to Africa. We'd just get a flight and we'd have
amazing.
We'd have 200 quid in our pocket.
And have the best time.
And myself and a girl called Judy, and we would just travel, and we'd have no plan, and we'd have to, we'd get arrested. We'd be, we'd have to, like, for no other reason than we were just two white girls.
Wow.
And very obviously on our own with a lot of expensive equipment.
Yeah.
So like we had to learn to survive, and we had to learn to have each other's back.
Absolutely.
But my dad never, like, he said he worried about me, but he was just like, go and explore.
Go and
learn.
And do everything.
And throughout those 10 years, the amount of different people that we met of all different beliefs, spiritualities, tribes, where, the connection to the other world was so visceral. Yeah. So much a part. And so you do start to go, God, just because we live one way in Ireland does not mean that there's no other way.
Completely. And I feel like and funnily enough, my dad definitely protected, but also very religious man.
Okay.
Catholic, like we'd be in church every Sunday, or in mass, I should say. See, I'm in America too long. We'd be in church, we'd be in mass. But I always seeked God, loved God. And then when I went to America, then I even went down the Christian route. My husband would have been raised as a Christian. I went down that route. I've always been seeking God, and like, okay, that doesn't resonate with me. Okay, let me look at this. I've always just, it fascinates me. Like you said, people's different ways of lives and their beliefs and how all of that works. But I just feel like if you go back, generations, like our ancestors and pre-TVs, all this stuff. Yeah. There was, and even especially in Ireland, there's such a connection to the earth and to nature. And I feel like we forget that.
Right. Hands up if you have ever been in a situation where you're just not feeling well. Maybe you're a little under the weather. Maybe you're in a little bit of pain. And you're just thinking to yourself, I need to see somebody right now. We have all been there. And you need to know about the Matter Private's emergency departments in Dublin and Cork. Because when you're under the weather, being seen quickly is really all that matters. And their consultancy-led teams aim to see every patient within 20 minutes of arrival. How good is that? This streamlined approach continues right the way throughout your care. So if you do need a scan, an X-ray, an MRI or an ultrasound, they can get those tests done and the results back to you really quickly, which means your medical team can work out the best treatment plan for you as soon as possible. And that is what it's about, getting that specialist care to you without delay. Now, just a quick note, it is for over 16s only, and do remember to check the opening times. The Matter Private Emergency in Dublin is open every day, 8 to 7, and in Cork, it's Monday to Friday, 8 to 8. So if you're not feeling well and you need specialised medical treatment, remember, you've got the Matter Private Network's emergency department. Get all the details you need and a full list of services at matterprivate.ie. Sorted. And so I suppose on that note then, I mean, growing up, your dad would have come here in the 1970s.
Yeah.
So not very many black
Not
people
at all.
So
And
the community was small.
tiny. Like the only reason that happened. So my dad was an aircraft engineer with Zambia Airways, which is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But for whatever reason, Zambia Airways and Aer Lingus had like a relationship. I think, did Zambia give planes to Aer Lingus? I don't know. There was some, it's quite interesting. Quite actually really interesting story. But there was a relationship with Aer Lingus and with Zambia Airways. So Aer Lingus had flown my dad, several of the aircraft engineers over. I have a great photo of a gang of them. They're so cool with like their platforms and the trousers. All these aircraft engineers, African guys, with a few of the Aer Lingus guys, and they brought them over to train and do whatever. So my dad was never planning on staying in Ireland. He came and then obviously met my mum, and that changed.
And where did they meet? Just on a night out?
I believe on a night out, yeah. Was there a place called Snoopy's?
Snoopy's?
I don't know. But they met and very, very head over heels in love. And yeah, like my mum went and lived in Zambia for a couple of years as well.
Hey.
But just, yeah, listen, they had a lovely love story, and they are still, very much so in love. So,
and I know, like you've talked about before, growing up in Ireland, you were happy out. You didn't really you didn't experience racism. Is that fair to say?
So this is a tricky one for me. So I don't know, like in our house growing up, race wasn't a thing. It wasn't spoken. It just wasn't a factor in our house. It really wasn't. And so as a little girl, like you wouldn't have been seeing black girls walking around Dublin. Of course I was getting stared at, but in my unhinged mind, I just thought I was fabulous. They loved my dress. I love
this though.
While I don't necessarily, I'm sure some of the looks were very different, but I interpreted that as they love my dress. They love my shoes. Just thought I was great, right?
But
as a girl.
Samantha, says so much about your parents.
Totally about my parents. And they did instill, again, race was not a thing in our house. Now, as I got older, my dad dealt with horrendous racism. Now, for some reason in my head, there was a dissociation where it was, oh, that's dad because he's from Zambia. I didn't realize in my head that I'm also black. So those insults are also to me and directed at me. There was a complete disassociation in my mind, which maybe was my subconscious protecting myself. I don't know. But I mean, again, my dad very much so able to stand up for himself, but also it was different then, I think,
does it make you sad to feel the undercurrent that's happening in Ireland at the moment? It
kind of sickens me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I do find it.
It is appalling.
I do, and it just makes me so sad because every time it is an undercurrent and an energy, and I don't know. It's just that's such a can of worms. It's like I think it's sad. And then I hate it as well because for the small percentage of people that are like that and pushing that kind of rhetoric, there's amazing Irish people and so many people that aren't like that. So I focus on that. But listen, it is what it is. These are weird times we're living in. I live in America, so I'm so used to racially driven things at this point.
Yeah.
I just think it's sad because I think Ireland is the magic and the beauty of Ireland is that the people are the best. So I hate that. I
totally agree with you. When my sister moved back from America when Trump got in, and she was like, I can't stay here anymore, and so many of my friends have moved back.
We are thinking of it as well. Yeah.
Are you?
It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think with kids, and because I know Sage, your daughter, she loves Ireland.
Loves Ireland. And she is furious with me. This is the first time I've ever come without her. And the longest I've ever been apart from her. She's not happy. So I literally promised I have a suitcase of just Penny's stuff. For her. That's the guilty shot. That is the guilty compromise that we came to.
But would your hubby, because is he from Los Angeles?
He's from LA, yeah.
He's from LA.
Yeah. And
what's his name again?
Teray.
Yeah.
He should have been with me today. He's just not feeling great.
Oh.
I might have had a few too many whiskies last night.
That's okay.
That's absolutely okay.
How would he feel about moving to Ireland?
Funnily enough, so we've been together for so long. So years ago, loved coming but loved going home, right? And yeah, he couldn't see himself living here. And now he's like, doesn't want to leave, wants to move here. And I'm at the point as well. LA, as I'm sure you'd know, even with your sister, it's just changed so much since I went. It's a different place. So I don't know.
I just think living the American dream has a very different connotation
and
now.
and again, like everywhere, there's pros and cons. I love our house, I love our life. I am very happy in LA, but I love and I'm grateful that we have the option that we can be here as well,
Because you have a very successful company. And by the way, I don't know, are you happy to talk about it?
Absolutely. I never have, but it's totally not a secret.
Okay. Because I was fascinated when you were telling me this. Like a very successful company.
You have a really successful security company in LA.
Tell me about it.
It's been around since 2019. We're both very, very heavily involved in it. Obviously, my husband had a police background and then went into bodyguard work and now have this security company. But it was great. We were not great, but even through COVID, it was probably the busiest of times for us.
Of course.
But it's great. And I love it. I love having something that I can sink my teeth into. I love, I'm so passionate about the company and I love getting to have kind of a normal, not job, but I don't know.
No,
I love that.
So you basically you provide security guards to a lot of very big celebrities.
To celebrities, to restaurants, nightclubs, dispensaries. It's such a big industry over there. So I don't know. We need to look into. I don't know what the security. I feel like the security business is probably a little bit wrapped up here, and it's a smaller pool, right? So
And has that been able to sustain you? Because now I kind of feel that you took a step back. And when the reason that I so wanted to get you on the radio show a couple of months ago is because I read that article where you said it was about the Eurovision.
Yeah.
And you said, I'm in my 40s now. And sometimes, you have to say yes. Sometimes you have to jump in. And I very much, that resonated with me because I had gone through, I was afraid of fucking nothing when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
In my
Same.
20s, I would walk into any room, talk to any person.
Exact same.
Nothing could faze me. And then as you get older, I think.
Then you're like.
Yeah. And I think motherhood maybe changes you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually do remember, right? Because I will go as far as saying, and all my family would say this, fearless. I mean, throw me out of a plane, bungee jumping, skydiving.
Amazing.
I would do cage shark diving, like speed, the faster the better, right?
Yeah.
And then I was doing Ireland's Fittest Family. Mairead Ronan was on maternity leave and I was doing one season.
Right.
And it was, what's that building? Is it City Hall that's on the quays there with the kind of funny roof? I think it's City Hall.
It used to be the tallest building.
Yeah. And they had a big plank up at the top on the roof of that, and you had to walk out. And I like the people had to walk out and get flagged. And I was like, right, why don't we open the show from out there? I'll just walk out and I'll open the show from the thing. And I went in, got the harness on, and couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Stop.
So that was my first, and then I actually realized, like when it came to jobs, when it came to going on panels, I started to go, no.
Yeah.
And then I went, why are you saying no? Like you're saying no because you don't want to be exposed, or you don't think you're good enough, or you think your time has come.
Yeah.
And I just went through a phase of that.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely.
I kind of I had to talk myself around.
Yeah.
So you work too fucking hard. You are too good.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it really resonated with me that you felt like that was your time for Eurovision. That was your time.
It was, again, and I think it was just very much so. Going back to, and I think we were talking about this before we started filming, I'm a very typical Capricorn. So I overthink. I will think of every single thing that can go wrong. I will weigh up my pros and cons. I will calculate everything. And then I talk myself out of it. Like even stupid stuff, Instagram, I don't even post because I'll overthink a caption and then I'm like, I'm actually just not bothering. I overthink everything. And I think when
people will go, you didn't overthink the Eurovision post.
Oh my God. No, didn't overthink that. Listen, it's a new day. It is definitely a new day. I feel like for the Eurovision before, I would have been like, I'd been asked to do it for years.
Yeah.
Always came around and I was like, well, I've never been asked. And then I was like, would you do Eurosong? And then I'm like, no, I'm in my 40s. Like, I'm not at this point in my career going on a singing competition. Like, it just felt almost a bit offensive, right? And that was probably coming from a place of ego as well, if we're being totally honest. And then I kind of had to have a sit down with myself and be like, no, do something that you're terrified to do. It's not that I didn't want to do it because I felt like I was too good for it. I think I didn't want to do it because I was terrified to not be good enough or to not be what I was supposed to be or all of the things. So it was such a personal thing for me to do it. And it gave me such anxiety when I was home. People were like, oh, you have it in the bag. And it was like, no, I don't. I feel like almost it's harder to come and people have a knowledge of you. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it was a perk or a plus. But it was very personal for me. And I'm so proud of the song I wrote. I'm so proud of the work we did in a short period of time with a very small RT budget. We did what we could do. And it really did push me out of my comfort zone. And even with my Instagram post after, I was kind of like, do you know what? No, I am an adult. I have opinions and I am absolutely not afraid. I think, again, Capricorn, not wanting to offend anybody, not wanting to be, I'm supposed to be the good girl and not say anything, and anything could be said to me, but God forbid I actually stand up for myself. No, the audacity, absolutely I'm going to stand up for myself. And also, you know, I'm raising a daughter. I'm not raising a daughter to be treated any way or spoken to any way. No, I'm raising a strong young Black woman and she's phenomenal. And so as much of that, you know, I really do have to stand by how I feel. And it's one thing being myself and saying my thoughts and opinions privately. But if things are going to be, you know, said about me and to me publicly and on television, absolutely I'm going to stand up for myself on my own platform.
Were you surprised at the stratospheric level?
I didn't think it was that big a deal. I really, really was, because I think I did it and went to bed and then woke up the next morning and nearly had a heart attack when I was on my phone. I was like, wait, holy shit, what's happened? What's happening?
The thing is, I mean, I love you, right? You are one of the soundest people I've ever met. And Donal is one of the soundest people.
He's lovely.
You know what I mean?
I met him several times and he lived in LA as well. Yeah.
And so I was like,
you were like, what's happening? Why is this
the coolest, nicest people, and there's fucking emojis and like aubergines flying everywhere. But I look at,
I know
the way I say it is, you have never been afraid to voice your opinion.
No.
And I think of pop stars like Kylie Minogue, and I think of Julie. You don't know what these people are thinking because they have very carefully curated that. And
yes.
What sort of a role model is that?
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Again, going back to when I'd found old schedules and old things in my mum's house, I found like my old folder of media training, and they had me in media training for days, and so much of it sometimes, and this is why I love this platform where I feel like we're just talking openly, whereas in interviews sometimes I'd almost be on autopilot and giving a perfectly curated answer that sounds lovely and you can put in a box and wrap it, and you know, I'm not problematic. I haven't got a mad history, or I haven't done crazy things, so I think people were maybe more just, I actually don't even really understand why people were so shocked. Maybe because I'm usually just very even keel and still am. But yeah, I think enough of that. I think authenticity and alignment over everything for me. And if it's neither of those things, it's not for me and I don't want it. And so I had to be authentically myself and align with how I was feeling. And I did. And I do not and will never regret it.
Okay. So did it upset you that people said it was kind of sour grapes?
So it didn't upset. Listen, people are going to say what they want. I've thick skin. I've been in the industry long enough. It just upset me that was, I hate that people thought that was what it was, because it really, really wasn't that. I'm a professional. You win some, you lose some. Like, I went into that with no guarantee at all. I was actually surprised that I even came second, if I'm being honest. I didn't even think, I thought I was either going to do really well or come last. Again, you can't predict it. So it was never, ever about that. For me, the other contestants that were on, and everybody was so lovely and so talented. And I literally will never forget, like, one of the guys in the green room literally crying because he couldn't cope with and not that he couldn't cope, he was so hurt with what had been said. And I just thought, hang on a second, like, this isn't what this is. This isn't even what your song is supposed to be about. And so I don't know if people want moments or airtime or what, you know, listen, you got your airtime now, but that's just not what it is, and certainly isn't what it should be. And I just felt like that was too far. And we all had the same thoughts and conversations, or several of us. I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouth, certainly. But you know, a lot of them are up and coming and new and starting out in their career, and would be probably maybe terrified to actually come out and have an opinion.
Outside.
Yeah, so I'm not. I'm not. I don't need to. I'm okay with having my opinion.
And I think that is the beauty of becoming a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I'm a mother, so seeing some young person crying, I just thought, no, actually piss off. That is disgraceful. The audacity. It just didn't make any sense to me. And if I'm being honest as well, and I think I might have said this, I'm not sure, I did find it very strange that there were 3 Eurovision winners in the studio that they had sing a song. That should be the judging panel. Those are people who have done it, lived it. That's a qualification to me where absolutely anything that comes out of your mouth, I wholeheartedly respect. Anything that Bambi Thug said, completely respected their opinion because it was authentic.
Yeah.
They, I don't know. Just for me, there was just a disconnect there. I just did find it quite strange.
And in terms of where we are with Eurovision now, is it something that you would consider doing again?
Never.
Never again.
No. God, no.
That was a definite no.
It was a hard no. And not even for anything bad or negative. I just feel like I've done it. I tried it. I was asked about it for years. Now nobody can say anything. I did what I did, and I feel like I've drawn a line under that now as well. You know.
But where they are at the moment with RTE now saying if Israel go in, that they are actually not going to enter the Eurovision this year.
But Israel were in it last year as well, weren't they? And okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
So now the delegation are saying, and RTE are saying, that if Israel are allowed into the competition, they will not be putting an artist through.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of, I just felt that that's the right decision. That's the right call.
Agreed.
But I also felt that it takes the pressure off the artists now, because with Bambi Thug in recent years and whoever else was going in, it's like it all of a sudden became about politics for them. Whereas, do you know what I mean? Now it's taken that decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do think it's the right call.
Agreed.
To be honest.
Totally agreed. And that was a kind of a thing that was coming up as well. Even around the time of Eurosong, it was kind of even decide, is it
there were
the right
boycotts,
and rightly so. I mean, I don't know. That was a tricky one too. And what had kind of spun that for me differently in my head, was when I was speaking with RT about it. So the history, which I hadn't realised, of Eurovision initially stemmed, I didn't even realise it went that far back after World War II, where it was all about unity and reuniting the countries, and very much so not political at all, very much so focusing on uniting. And so I hadn't realised that. And so I kind of thought, okay, well, that's a fair point as well. And so there shouldn't be any more division, or, and it isn't politically based. No. Obviously
but it's always kind of been politically charged.
But it kind of has been politically charged.
Only because
in terms of voting and countries that vote for their countries, all of that.
Yeah. And I actually had a conversation with Niamh Kavanagh a couple of days ago, the wonderful Niamh.
Okay, so I would love to, what was her take on that?
So she was saying the same thing. She was saying, look, it's absolutely 100% that this needs to come from the delegation, so with the pressures off the artists. But she was like, Kathryn, back in the day, she was like, Ireland and England couldn't be in the same hotel.
Oh my God.
You kind of forget.
Yeah, you do.
In the 80s and the 90s, like, they had to be in separate hotels. So she was like, there was always a frisson.
Yes.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, and listen, maybe that was a blessing in itself. Maybe I would have been walking into a total shit show that I had no business being in, even in that regard. I don't know. I think, again, everything for me, I don't question anything. I don't regret anything. Everything happens for a reason. It really, truly does. And and I hope if anybody is watching this or is in not even necessarily a bad place, but an unsure place or an in-between place, you're just in an in-between in your life.
Yes.
And I'm always, again, I meditate, I'm into all this stuff. And it's always, everything's your protection and things are changing. And at some point you kind of go, oh, Jesus, where is it? Like, it's just not coming for me.
Yeah.
And I recently had, and that would be personal, but I recently had confirmations of things, and it does eventually come. Things definitely eventually click when they're supposed to. And I think it has to be an unwavering knowledge and just understanding that will come. So I don't know. I just hope anybody in that in-between place, because it's not a great place to be in. especially as a Capricorn, because I want everything now.
Now, you're so impatient.
So impatient.
But I do think particularly it's a great message for women in their late 30s, in that transition,
Absolutely.
in their 40s, whether you're going through menopause, whether your kids are starting, like there's so much change and there's so much flux that you can kind of lose yourself.
Completely lose yourself. And you don't realize you've lost yourself. You don't realize it takes something happening or where you're like, oh, wait a second. What's happening here? You know, what's going on? And even for me, anything that's wrong with me, oh, that's perimenopause. And I'm going, piss off.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Jesus Christ. Like, we have that to deal with now as well. It's too much. And so I just think we should all give each other a little bit of grace and just, I don't know. And I do think it is a great time. I do think women, even when I was younger sometimes, and even in the industry I was in, there wasn't a sense of maybe camaraderie between different artists. And it was that kind of, I don't know. And I don't even know what that was and why was that. But I think I love that today it's very much so women and empowerment and togetherness. And listen, I just think it's a good time now. But we definitely, as women, listen, as people, everybody goes through good days, bad days. But I do think we put too much on ourselves. Absolutely.
So back to moving home, because I think you should.
I kind of really feel like
I really think you should. And your mom is here.
Yes.
And like that relationship, I mean, I know you guys see each other a lot.
All the time. And well, that's how it worked out. My mum is actually in LA at the moment and she's watching Sage while I'm here. So it's me and my hubby this time. And she's in LA with my mum and Sage. In LA.
In LA. So,
but like home is home, isn't it? It just is.
And would you try and find somewhere here? Because I know you could do the apartment, you do the hotel thing. Would you feel like it's more of a base if you had your own place?
I do. I want a gorgeous little apartment.
Yeah.
I really do.
They're fucking expensive.
And then they're so expensive. And I go between wanting a little apartment in the city to then I'd love just a little house in the middle of nowhere in Wexford or Wicklow and just be in a little forest. Like, I'm a total nutcase.
No, you're woo-woo in the greatest possible way.
I really am. Like, just leave me in a little house and I've my forest and I can just speak to all the little things. I like try and make friends with birds. Oh, listen, I talk to the seagulls, try feed the seagulls out my window while I'm here every day. Like, they're sick of me at this point.
Oh my God, you're the only person in Dublin who actually likes Dublin seagulls.
Oh my God, and they're misunderstood.
No, they're not. They're awful,
they're
horrible beings.
They're not. They're so lovely. And I actually really bonded with one the last time. And to this day, I still worry about it. And I hope it's okay. It was a teenager one. You know, they still have the little brown feathers.
Oh, God. Well, I had a French student who was living with us for a couple of months. And she still is. I sent her back to France. It wasn't my children who sent her over the edge. It was the fucking Dublin seagulls.
Seriously?
She had a seagull. She was having a
did
big
it get her?
bite. Yeah, got her. And in the hair and everything. So she literally wasn't right for days.
See now, no, this seagull was special. And it was, I knew it was a teenager, right? And so it came, and we like had a bond. I'm telling you, I have the videos. Things I have in my phone. If I actually posted my camera roll on Instagram. Anyway, we bonded. And in my head, seagulls normally would go fishing in the sea, right? So they can just dive in, pick a fish, and
they
that's
go
their
fishing
dinner.
in the bins
I know
of
they get
Dublin.
chipper now, but by nature, that's what they would do. So I was in Marks and Spencer's doing my shopping and there was the lovely little fillets of cod and I was like, I'm going to treat my little seagull. So I got it, the confidence of God, right? Now I had this,
sorry, I love the fact that you go to Marks and Spencer's and not Lidl to get fish for your seagull.
No, but I love that for, I always get it confused. That has the best croissants.
Okay.
And cookies, right? Like there's different places for different things, right?
But it's M&S for the seagull fish.
It's M&S for the seagull. And so I was so excited. So it was coming visiting me every day. We were talking like we communicate. It's great. So anyway, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, you're back. I have fish for you. So I put it out for it and I thought it was going to be delighted with itself. The fucking piece of cod got stuck in its mouth. And then I was like, oh my God, I've killed my seagull.
Yeah, and God, look, one less.
Its entire neck was a big square and it was trying to fly and it kept dropping. And I was like, oh my God. And I called my brother. I was like, Amber, the seagull. I think I'm going to kill the seagull. And it was panicking and I was panicking. And it just was stuck in my back. Now, eventually,
oh my God,
I was able to get enough and fly off, but my nerves were gone. So I've pulled back on like those kind of meals.
Right.
However, listen, I just love animals. See, this is the real me. Maybe this is why I had media training. I was never supposed to show this, but yeah, I do. I love the seagulls. I get a kick out of them, and they're just.
I could actually. The more I hang out with you, the more I could see you living with all your seagulls in a little house in a forest.
Like, just give me that. And it's very hard. I really want to make friends with crows. It is so hard to make friends with crow now. I have actually bought a crow mask. I used to put it on and go out when I was out in the back garden so that they would think I was like their mother crow. I swear to God. Because like, they're amazing. Like,
the girl has been living in LA way too long.
Literally. But like, they never forget a face. Like, once you bond with them, it's like for life. Like, they're amazing.
It is so gorgeous chatting to you.
Thank you for having me.
What is next? Where are we going to see you next?
Who knows? Again, I feel like there is a pivot and there's a change for me coming in the new year, and I don't fully know what that is yet. I'm still working that out. Yeah, and I'm very excited about it. And so, again, just the authenticity and alignment. When I tell you, it almost goes through my head on a loop. That's just my mantra. So yeah, undecided, but it's definitely going to be, I think, different or a departure from maybe what I have been doing. Because also, I think you have to evolve and change and grow, and it's okay to do that. I feel like sometimes I stick doing things that I do because that's just what I think I'm supposed to do or what I'm known for doing, or, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So something not in the entertainment industry?
I just I don't know. I think I'm just being called into a different space that is more aligned with the absolute nutcase that I really am. And
You're
think
setting
I'm
up
going
a
to be very
seagull
happy
sanctuary.
There. Imagine. Listen, never say never.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Oh, you are an absolute legend.
Thank you so much for having me.
So enjoyed this chat.
I really have as well, actually.
Paul is
mildly
45 minutes. It's like, it's now an hour and a half.
Sorry. Oh my God, you're going to cut out all my crows and seagulls.
I got to talk to you about Body to Body.
Okay.
And it being a sample of David Bowie.
Yes.
And he gave you the little.
He did. Yeah, I am actually quite surprised, to be honest, because
so how does that even?
Amazing.
How does that even happen?
I wish I could say, you know, I met him in a jazz club and we had a glass of red and he said, "Okay, Samantha, like, you can use it." No, I mean, obviously I never met him, never spoke to him, never had anything to do with it. But yeah, I mean, the label would have had to clear it, and he cleared it and approved it, and yeah.
And had you been a fan, or when that happened, or since you've gotten older, have you become more of a Bowie fan? Or
honestly, I was more of a fan. Oh God, David Bowie fans are going to hate me for saying this, but not of his music. What was the movie he did where it was the babysitter? I'm Labyrinth. Do you remember him in Labyrinth?
No, I don't. I am also. You're going to be cancelled because I was never a David Bowie fan.
And it's not that I wasn't. It wasn't played in my house, so it's not like. But I always thought he was very cool. I more so was a fan of his wife, Iman.
Yes,
he was just divine,
and his clothes,
her makeup, and the clothes. And
now Kate Moss is all about him, and got a new podcast about him as well.
A podcast about David?
Yeah, I think they were good mates, and yeah, I think she was one of the last people to speak to him before he died. Yeah, I could be making that
a bit weird. I find that a bit strange.
Yeah. Sorry,
I'm going to now get cancelled for saying see me and my mouth. The crows don't judge me. No, I don't know. Well, I just think that's a bit weird, but whatever. She's Kate Moss. She can do whatever she wants.
She can do whatever. Exactly. But I mean, in your music catalogue, to have that now,
that is amazing. And I will say, as songs that I perform now, it is one of my favourites to perform. I really have a different appreciation for it now as well. I actually really love the song in a different way now.
Which is your favourite Samantha Mumba song to perform?
I think Gotta Tell You is just my like firstborn child. It's like my baby. And I think I just still am so proud of it. I'm proud that I was a writer on it. I don't think it's dated terribly. I kind of think with a little rejig, it probably could have still been released today. Yeah, that Body to Body I do love performing. Always Come Back to Your Love is my least favourite.
Really? Okay.
And it's a crowd favourite, so I will always do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of just my favourites.
You recently, and I saw this online, you recently did Vogue's 40th. Oh my God. You played at Vogue's 40th.
Yes.
I was raging. I wasn't at that party. Like, Vogue and myself aren't even friends, but I was still raging she didn't ask me.
But in my head, she is her and, oh my God, my brain.
Joanne?
Her and Joanne are like besties in my head. And like, They're just very cool.
So did
and
you not know
fabulous.
her? No.
I'd maybe met her before years ago, but didn't know each other very well.
Oh, so she just rings and says, come play.
So basically how it had happened, initially after Eurosong, I had said what I'd said. They had spoken about it on their podcast, which was hilarious. And then I think she was joking like, oh, I'd love her to come and do my 40th. And I was laughing. I think I probably did, because I would message Joanne the odd time on Instagram. And I was like, yeah, tell her no bother, like grand. And yeah, we just were able to figure it out, and it worked out really well that I was overdoing Manchester Pride anyway. So it just worked out, and it was just the most gorgeous. She was the most gorgeous, welcoming, beautiful person. Like, she's just very, very cool. All of her friends were amazing. Like, it was amazing.
Oh.
Her home is amazing. Her kids are like, she's fab.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she is
wildly obsessed. She's fabulous. Like, gorgeous person. So
how cool though.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. It was fun. And it was really fun.
It is such a pleasure. I can talk to you all day. My producer is like booking his taxi. So we have to leave.
It's like, please stop. I'm so sorry if you have to edit this for hours.
I think my kids are outside Park West Gymnastics Hall for the last hour, but that is okay. Samantha Mumba, it is such a pleasure. Move to Ireland.
Thank you for having me.
Start a seagull sanctuary.
Listen, you've kind of given me a little idea here. And maybe the crows will come down when they see I'm nice with birds.
I absolutely adore you.
I
absolutely adore you. Thank you
so mutual.
much.
I think you can feel that as well. Oh, thank you so much, genuinely.
Give me a hug.
Thank you.
Me a hug.
No. I really appreciate this. This was lovely.
Right. Hands up if you have ever been in a situation where you're just not feeling well. Maybe you're a little under the weather. Maybe you're in a little bit of pain. And you're just thinking to yourself, I need to see somebody right now. We have all been there. And you need to know about the Matter Private's emergency departments in Dublin and Cork. Because when you're under the weather, being seen quickly is really all that matters. And their consultancy-led teams aim to see every patient within 20 minutes of arrival. How good is that? This streamlined approach continues right the way throughout your care. So if you do need a scan, an X-ray, an MRI or an ultrasound, they can get those tests done and the results back to you really quickly, which means your medical team can work out the best treatment plan for you as soon as possible. And that is what it's about, getting that specialist care to you without delay. Now, just a quick note, it is for over 16s only, and do remember to check the opening times. The Matter Private Emergency in Dublin is open every day, 8 to 7, and in Cork, it's Monday to Friday, 8 to 8. So if you're not feeling well and you need specialised medical treatment, remember, you've got the Matter Private Network's emergency department. Get all the details you need and a full list of services at matterprivate.ie. Sorted.
You've been listening to Are We There Yet? Hosted by me, Kathryn Thomas. Visual design and video edit by Stephen King O'Farrell and Connor Daly. Music courtesy of Audio Network. Series producer Paul McGregor and executive producer Sasha Hamrogue. New episodes of Are We There Yet? Are released every Tuesday morning wherever you get your podcasts, and you can also watch this episode along on YouTube. Are We There Yet? With Kathryn Thomas is an Onic original.